Uko sawa? Next month.
Wapi like shule. So nitakwenda. Mimi hapa tunaibeba so hata.
Sijajua ni student. Mimi nafikiria mimi kadogo hapa ndani.
Watu wanaenda wakili na naita nani sana kwenda graduate.
Sarah.
Abia sasa kwa.
Oh.
Nani tiketi ndio shule. Watu wengi hapa.
Ya mute. Sijaguza hizo vitu. Alafu zile zangu zinalia kwa kamera bana. Hii mkono sitakiniguza na.
Only.
Nika hiyo side nyingine.
Check it. Ndio msee. Nani? Unataka kufanya. Pizza. Wewe kama wewe bado tutinge.
Aronya, you used to be the referee.
Yeah.
Go ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Order. No.
Nini maronya?
Hivi.
No.
Sorry, we have come late because we left very early to Litein to take instructions from our clients. Those are the parents of Litein High School, which is found in Kericho County. We have instructions from over 1,400 parents of Litein High School, with a total population of over 1,500 boys who are in that school. The gist of the matter is that the school went on strike. And when the school went on strike, several incidences have happened necessitating the Parents Teachers Association to clarify to the whole country the happenings at Litein High School. We have instructions from the PTA, that is the body that is elected representing every class in that school. These are bodies of parents who have an issue with the Board of Governors. The Board of Governors is an entity that governs the schools where the principal of the school is a secretary to the Board of Governors. The school went on strike. The first strike, this is the third strike that has happened in this school. Parents are asking, is it a coincidence? Strikes are happening and parents are condemned to pay. The first strike, parents paid without question. Another strike, parents paid without question. This is a third strike. The parents think that the principal and school management is instigating these strikes for the benefit of payment. Number two, this strike, when it came up, the board called for a QS, a quantity surveyor from Nakuru, a government quantity surveyor from Nakuru. Single-handedly, he came out with a compensation plan amounting to 99 million shillings. Shadrach will give the figures. Among how they have split that money, the repairs were to cost around 69 million shillings, and the teachers to be compensated by 30 million shillings. The teachers are claiming some of them lost properties worth 30 million shillings. For record purposes, I'm a former teacher and I know the salary of teachers and I know what they can have. That, when the parents received that, they demanded to be given those scientific BQs. The school refused to give them the BQs by the quantity surveyor. The parents refused. Unilaterally, again, the QS and the principal reviewed the amount downwards to now from 99 million to 69 million to 62 million. Here, each student is to pay over 49,000 shillings for repair. The parents are asking the total cost of all the infrastructure of the school, plus the toilets, plus the grass, everything, plus the trees, will not be more than 100 million. How will the damage be more than the actual inventory of the school itself? Number two, the parents are seeking, and they have instructed us to move to the High Court immediately to get an inventory of what assets the school owned, what assets were destroyed, and the parents have proposed from their own assessment that every student is supposed to pay 10,000 shillings. These teachers want to exploit the children, and that is why we are moving to court immediately to stop the exploitation of these children. Third term is a term for a national examination. The Form 4s are being told in the return to work program, the school is saying Form 2s to come to school early. Then after a week, Form 3 to come. The Form 4s who are candidates are now being told to come last. When will they prepare for their examination? This is a national crisis. We shall be moving to court in the next 20-30 minutes to get a reprieve for these children. Article 53 of the Constitution protects the rights of education for the minors. Basic education is a constitutional right, and we shall be seeking the EACC to investigate those 3 strikes, how the monies that were collected previously were used. Umechoka kutoka Litein? Sema yako.
Thank you. Thank you, members of the fourth state. As you might be well aware, unrest and chaos in our schools is not a rare occurrence. These are things that happen for one reason or another. In Litein Secondary School, we've had to experience about 3 occasions where students have gone on riot or there has been chaos in that school, resulting to the loss of property. But we thank God that there has not been any loss of life. Following the loss of property and destruction of property in that school, there has been a number of measures that have been put in place by the school management in a way to ensure the smooth running or the running of the school back to its usual form. However, our clients, the parents of these students, find certain measures that have been taken or suggested by the school to be very uncomfortable. Firstly, there is a question about the compensation that ought to be paid under the circumstances. As my senior has mentioned, there was a demand that about 99 million shillings be paid to compensate for the loss of property that was experienced in that school. When you want to enumerate or you want to make a calculation of how the 99 million shillings has been arrived at, about 30 million shillings is compensation meant to be given to teachers to go and celebrate that, you know, there was a riot in school and they have been given about 30 million shillings to go and enjoy themselves. This is something that the school, the parents of this school have found to be very uncomfortable. And for that reason, they have suggested amendments to the proposal that has been given by the school management. This has led to the scaling down of this amount from about 99 million to about 69 million. So be that as it may, even while the amount seems to have reduced significantly, there is wisdom in these amounts of money also reducing further to an amount that can be accommodated by the teachers, by the parents who have taken their students to that school. So this is to mean that the 69 million shillings that has been demanded by this school, number one, has not been arrived at through a transparent process that the parents can understand where this money has originated from. Secondly, on the return to school formula, the demand that students, Form 4 students, because they are feared that probably they might want to involve themselves in exam irregularities, that they should come later on and first of all give room and opportunity to Form 2s and Form 3s, is quite unfair and illogical. It's illogical because Form 4s are expected to be preparing for their Form 4s exam, and it will be expected ordinarily that they will be given the first opportunity of returning back to school to give them room and opportunity of preparing for their final exam. So this is something that the parents find to be very uncomfortable, and we will be moving to court so that we can put the school management to the straight and narrow, a path that they will be reminded that they are not the law unto themselves, that these students also have a right to fair administrative action that requires them to be treated in a very logical manner, that any of the resolution that is being made or will be made by the school must sit within the 4 corners of the Constitution to afford the parents and the teachers fair administrative action. Lastly, there has been a requirement set by the school management that every student, upon resuming back to school, must be accompanied by all his parents, and these parents must mandatorily attend parents' meeting so that they can be forced into arriving at certain conclusions. Well, it is not tenable that all parents will be available for all meetings of the school. In any event, these parents must also be given opportunity and time to go and look for resources so that they can support their children while they are in school. So to demand that all parents must at all times when they are called upon to return back to school and accompany their students is at the very least very illogical and unreasonable. We also have single parents. So where on earth will you expect that child of a single parent to get the father or the mother who is not available? So these are some of the things that we say beat logic, and we will be moving to the Judicial Review Division so that we can compel this school to act reasonably, to afford these students and their parents some reasonable administrative action, even in an attempt to also mitigate on the losses that they have suffered. I think that should be all from me, unless we have any question from the...
What specific orders are you seeking, and are the students suspended, or they are still in school, or they are required to pay the amount before going back to school?
Well, the students were told to go back home so that they could, they could give room to the school to come up with certain corrective measures before their readmission back to school. So as we speak, they are home. The Form 4s, from the schedule that has been shared, the Form 4s will be expected to go back to school on the 16th of October. This is long after our Form 2s and Form 3s have gone back to school. That is what we are calling unreasonable.
So every student is at home on Litein Boys?
Yes, yes. The other question you asked?
The specific orders that you are seeking?
Yes. Number one, we need to understand that the sayer of what is right and wrong in this country is the courts of law. So when a body exercising its administrative powers gives certain orders or directives, particularly number one that requires that these parents must and should pay a compensation of about 49,000 shillings each. That is something that is available for scrutiny before the courts of law. The courts have the power of issuing judicial review orders in terms of even mandamus to compel the school to readmit the Form 4s quicker than the Form 2s and the Form 3s. The court also has the power to quash the directive by the school requiring parents to pay up to a tune of about 49,000 shillings from each parent. So I think I have sufficiently responded to your question. Any other?
Nyaberi.
Thank you. I'll pave the floor to my senior, Mr. Nyaberi. Asante.
Thank you. We've been instructed to file a suit, a petition, before the High Court, basically giving interventions on the actions by the Board of Management, Litein High School in Bureti constituency, Kericho County. We are standing with the parents of the school, because we are parents too, that this is an illegality that is being orchestrated on them. Reason being that this is a criminal enterprise by the management to give parents an amount of 49,000 each to be paid into the school. And this is the reason why we are saying it's a criminal enterprise. Number one, all these students, once they were admitted to this Litein High School, they were admitted when they were of good character. Even when you go to the living certificates, it will show that they were hardworking boys who had excelled from their respective primary schools, and they are there propagating what they had learned from the primary school. Now, the big question is this: when did this character go south for them now to be branded that they are students who participate in unrest and who went on strike? Because this is a criminal enterprise, which we want to stand with the parents of that the school, for them not to be condemned to pay amounts that are unreasonable. We are not disputing that there was a strike. We are not disputing that there was destruction. But these good students who have good manners, when is it then that each and every of the parents is condemned to pay 49,000? This is an arbitrary sum. It is done by a QS who is aligned to the Board of Management, who is aligned to benefit unduly from the parents. And looking at the time that this is happening, this is third term where the students have to do their end of year exams, including Form 4s who are going to sit for their national examinations, and have this school having red flags in terms of the performance. So we shall be seeking for protection by the court through issuance of the orders, that then we have to cushion Litein High School parents from being subjected to arbitrariness. And that is why we are standing with the school. In as much as they gave us instructions to proceed and file suit, we shall stand with them for purposes of seeing that justice is served, and that justice is going to be served from the chambers or from the emblem of the judiciary. Thank you so much.